Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rashmi Sinha from Indira Gandhi National Open University, Delhi. I will be discussing the module Welfare of Aged, National and International Policies and Programs from the paper Biosocial Gerontology. Now what are the learning objectives of this module? They are to study how the policies and programs for the welfare of the aged was formulated. 2. To find out the reason behind the need to create a plan for adoption of policies for the welfare of the aged. 3. To understand the objectives and the principles of the policy concerning the aged. 4. The role of different stakeholders in effectively implementing the policies for the welfare of the aged, and to delineate the criticism of the policies made for the aged. Now let's introduce ourselves to the topic. Aged people are a group of people in a population that are nearing or surpassing the age of an average lifespan of human beings. Aged can be divided into two groups: population who have retired on attaining the age of superannuation from the government or organized sector and are entitled to pensionary benefits, and populations who have reached the age of 60 plus and are drawing public assistance in their old age for their survival. Aging is regarded as a multi-dimensional phenomena that needs an interdisciplinary and intersectoral approach that has an important socio-economic dimension which cannot be overlooked. To implement a policy that needs to be effective on elderly, it is deemed to take on board the physiological and psychological needs of older persons. Over the decades, aging has been posing serious challenges throughout the world. Indeed, we are facing global population growth on the scale unparalleled in human history, and this has led to the present demographic transformation that calls for new policy measures at the government level. The implementing policy will exert additional pressure on the sectors like health, housing, employment, social safety nets, and social welfare. Therefore, one needs to focus on the following mentioned sectors for policies to be more effective. They are health and nutrition, housing, social welfare and leisure, institutional care, protection of the elderly, income security, preparation for retirement, employment, and education. Aging is not a disease but a curve of human biological phenomena, and as such, the healthier individuals should be more responsible for the needed state of a particular person or a group at large, and it has been rightly stated by Edgar and Russell in 1998 that within the discipline's strong tradition of representing the minority, the underdog, the dependent, and disempowered dwells. This is an enlightenment or the basic key to understand the welfare of the very aged people of our population. Implementing policies can be regarded as a well-developed tradition for integration of basic premises of social work, community care, and therapeutic interventions. In recent times, we see that the study of welfare of the aged has been largely one of the must domains of social policy and that of economists. In general, we can see a list of different programs that are flexible, providing a wide range of options, keeping in mind that caring for the aged or elderly or senior citizens is the fulfillment of needs and requirements that are unique to senior citizens. These programs are also implemented to assure the older persons that their concerns are national concerns too, and they will not live unprotected, ignored, or marginalized, promoting the concept of aging in place or aging in own house. These would also bring in measures that can look at both the nature of problems and policies directed towards the welfare of aged by the government, and examine the role of voluntary and private institutions working for the welfare of aged in society. 1. Financial security. 2. Healthcare and nutrition. 3. Shelter housing. 4. Education. 5. Welfare. 6. Other areas of action. 7. Non-governmental organizations. 8. Family. 9. Training of manpower. Medical colleges and training institutes are introduced and equipped with specialization in geriatrics. 10. Media highlights and identifies the changing situations of aged persons. Now, what are the intervention and action strategies? At global level, the phenomena of aging over the recent years has been the focus of attention of international community, particularly in the field of economic, social, political and scientific dimensions. It has also been noted that the growth in world population is on a scale unparalleled in human history. The UN Bureau of Census in 1999 has shown that the world elderly population is increasing very rapidly. The increase is observed more in developing countries of the world, where the rates of population growth are much higher than the capabilities of these countries in terms of health, nutrition and other basic amenities for maintaining a reasonable standard of living. According to UN estimates, in 1950, there were approximately 200 million persons aged 60 years and above. By 1975, this number increased to 350 million, and by the year 2005 to 625 million and to 2 billion by 225 is expected. For the first time in history of mankind, there are projections that by 2050, the population of older people will be more than that of children under the age of 14 years. For instance, in Africa alone, it is projected to register a phenomenal increase from the current estimates of slightly over 38 million to 2012 million in 2050. Therefore, observing aging as one of the utmost consequences of demographic transition, the advanced countries of the world have developed policies and programs, and their main aim is to eradicate crisis and promote economic growth and development, at the same time reminding the older generation that they are not alone and that the younger generation still acknowledges their contribution to the socio-economic development of the country and nation as a whole. Few developed countries have reoriented their welfare policies in response to neoliberal dictates. By contrast, the paradigm shift has been strongly felt by many developing countries. 3. World's population. By 2050, the world's population is expected to increase to 9.4 billion from the current 7.3 billion, which will inversely affect the elderly population 10.4% to 21.7%, out of which the oldest among the old will increase most rapidly over time. Thus, the international and national policy is to address primarily the welfare dimension of aging population. 4. UN Principle for Older Person. In 1991, 9 years after the enactment of the plan, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the United Nations Principles for Older Person, which was Resolution 46 by 91. These 18 principles can be clustered into 5 relating to the status of older persons. Those 5 are: 1. Independence, 2. Participation, 3. Care, 4. Self-fulfillment, and 5. Dignity. International Year of Older Person was declared in 1999, comprising of 4 monopolies: 1. Situation of older persons, 2. Individual lifelong development, 3. Relationship between the generations, and 4. Interrelationship of population, aging and development. 5. International policies. Various international policies made for the welfare of aged in different countries of the world are as offered by, like in United States, social assistance, social security and social service, then coverage of programs, size of beneficiary population, extent of activism and political strength on the organization of the aging. In China, women retire at the age of 55 years, men at 60, after which they get pension along with free medical care. In Australia, women age of 60 years, men age of 65 years to receive pension. Nursing homes and hostels receive federal financial support. Voluntary and religious organizations provide health care through government support. Israel, health services security coverage is there. Suitable housing is also provided. So Sweden, proper financial security, good housing, services and healthcare is there. Old age homes are municipal's responsibilities, and international plan for action on aging is there. This is the first international instrument on aging that guides thinking and formulation of policies and programs on aging. It was formulated by the United Nations General Assembly in 1982 and adopted at the World Assembly on Aging at Vienna, Austria the same year. It aims at strengthening capabilities of governments and civil society to deal effectively with aging populations and to address the development potential and dependency needs of older persons, promoting regional and international cooperation. It consists of 62 recommendations for action addressing research, data collection, analysis, training, education and other sectors. 7th point is the intervention and action strategies. At national level, in 1999, the Government of India made national policy on older persons and the year 2000 has been declared as the National Year of Older Persons. The national policy reflects concerns on few basic and interlinking plans, including the impact of demographic changes overtaking country's population as there is an increase in health and adoption coverage of the small family that results in increasing responsibility of working population for elderly care, task of reaching social assistance to large number of elderly, effect of changes in economy due to urbanization and industrialization, modernization and introduction of new technology, new lifestyles and values on the structure and functioning of families and their capacity to take care of the elderly. The policy highlights the vulnerability within the old persons category, women, sectors such as widows, poor, rural residents, disabled and chronically, which includes mentally ill and others. The national policy is open-ended, promising an era of state interventions supporting in the field of financial security, healthcare, shelter and welfare, special focus on older women, protection against abuse and exploitation and special attention to the rural areas. In the past years, the Ministry of Social Security, National Solidarity and Senior Citizen Welfare and Reform Institution has its policy characterized by 1. Adhocism, 2. Lack of strategic planning, 3. Lack of intersectoral linkages. It can be conceded that the above approach can be implemented through a first set of challenges are government, 2. NGOs, 3. Civil society, 4. Local community and 5th is international community. Second set of challenges relates to the changing of social, economic and cultural aspects in which social policies for older people are present, where according to Esping Anderson, he has rightly stated that the contemporary welfare state addresses a past social order. The much greater occupational and life cycle differentiation that characterizes post-industrial society implies also more heterogeneous needs and expectations. Also, the welfare state's erstwhile model family is no longer preeminent. A host of changes including the status of women in pattern of living arrangements and in labor market may have profound influence on the needs of older people and how these can be met. The standard modernization thesis posts is that older people become increasingly isolated and vulnerable as a result of such changes. Research from developing countries shows that traditional social structures such as extended families and communities are becoming less reliable sources of support for older people than may have been the case in the past, and this has led to the increased needs for formal income support and care provisions in such countries. Third challenge from the demographic change is that many developed countries have highly aged population, leading to the fear about an old age crisis and the sustainability of existing welfare programs for older people. According to the more sensationalistic commentators, official projections suggest that within 30 years, developed countries will have to spend at least an extra 9 to 16% of GDP simply to meet their old age benefit promises. The unfunded liabilities for the pensions are already almost $35 trillion. The addition of healthcare would alter the total jumps to at least twice as much. Global aging could trigger a crisis that engulfs the world economy. This crisis may even threaten democracy itself. 8. The national policies. National Policy or Older Person, which is NPOP in 1999, constituted under the Ministry for Social Justice and Empowerment, the highest body to advise the government on formulation and implementation of policies and programs for old age persons, ensures financial, food security, healthcare, shelter, protection against abuse and exploitation and availability to improve the quality of their lives. A policy that ensures old age persons that they will not live unprotected, marginalized or ignored, but rather boost their confidence to live in the society with a hope, purpose, peace and dignity. It promotes the concept of aging in place, aging in own home, and meets at least once a year. 8.2, the Integrated Policy for Older Person, IPOP in 1992, was constituted to provide basic amenities like food, shelter, medical care, etc. Encourage productive building and support of government, non-government organization, Panchayati Raj institution, local bodies and communities at large. 8.T, the National Program for Healthcare for Elderly, NPHCE, implements separate queues for older persons in government hospitals, implementing certain geriatric clinics in several government hospitals. Then the Indira Gandhi National Old Age Pension Scheme, IGNO-APS, it provides pension amount of Rs 200 per month to persons above the age of 60 years. They provide pension amount of Rs 500 per month to persons above the age 80 years. Then separate ticket counters have been provided for citizens above the age of 60. 30 and 50% concessions have been provided in rail fare for citizens above the age of 60. Then there is pension portal, which enables senior citizens to get information regarding their application status, pension amount, documents required if any, etc. Airlines also offers 50% of concessions for senior citizens above the age of 65 years. Then the policy context. The international community is being submerged to address the issue of aging in the highly turbulent socio-economic and political context, which is characterized by phenomena of globalization, liberalization and popular movements for democratic governance sweeping across the globe on an unprecedented scale. Then the right of the older person, UN Declaration of Human Rights, UN Principles of Older Person and Participation. There is principle violation, participation to be more productive of the above stated terms. 11. Maintenance of parents and senior citizens. This legislation was enacted in 2007, initiated by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India policy for senior citizens including parents who are unable to maintain themselves from his own earning or out of property owned by them and are entitled to get relief under this act. For this application maintenance, either the senior citizen or the parent himself can fill, or if such person is incapable, then by other person or any other registered organization is authorized. Now the criticism, although there are various policies, acts and regulations providing provisions for better, healthier and easier positions for the parents and elderly, there are some criticisms also. It is alleged that for the policies, acts and regulations to implement, it is not easy because in most cases, there are no obligation cast on the state or national government to establish old age homes. There is no provision for old age pensions. Definitions provided are confusing and so many more. Also, because these findings credible, willing and able persons and NGOs for inclusion in the tribunal is quite a task. The practicality of setting up the tribunal itself becomes a challenge. Now let us summarize the module. Aged persons are a group of people in a population that are nearing or surpassing the age and average lifespan of human beings. But the boundary of aged people cannot be more specific because it does not have all the meaning in societies. To implement a policy that needs to be effective on elderly, it is deemed to take on board the physiological and psychological needs of older persons. Aging is one of the utmost consequences of demographic transition. The advanced countries of the world have developed policies and programs. The aim is to eradicate crisis and promote economic growth and development, also to remind the older generation that they are not alone, and the younger generation acknowledges their contribution to the socio-economic development of the country and the nation as a whole. Population aging arouses the need for particular form of social policy. In later part of life, people often face greater income difficulty, increasing health and care needs. Thus, reflecting the different contexts in which aging is occurring, various programs are in progress in number of countries to develop new policies that address the changing demographic balance, but aging is still a low priority in most governments' agenda. Demographic aging denotes further cause to rethink about welfare policy and to reinstate universal public provisions for social policy throughout the populations of the world. Thank you.